If you are receiving NZ Super, a main benefit, or any qualifying payment from work and income right now, there is money being added to your bank account this month that you need to know about. And there are rules attached to that money that, if you get them wrong, could mean you end up owing MSD a debt you never expected. This video is going to walk you through everything: the exact amounts, the exact dates, the eligibility rules, the common mistakes people are making right now, and the misinformation that is circulating online that you need to ignore. I'm David, and you're watching New Zealand Pension Plan, the channel where we break down NZ Super, WINS, MSD, and important government support updates that could directly affect your finances, so you can make informed decisions and make sure you're receiving every entitlement you may qualify for. Today we are talking about the winter energy payment for 2026. It has officially started. It is being added to MSD bank deposits right now. But there is a lot of confusion out there about how much it is, who gets it, how it is paid, and what the rules are. And some of that confusion is coming from third-party websites and social media posts that have been spreading inaccurate information about this payment. So in this video, I am going to give you the facts. Confirmed, official, straight from Work and Income New Zealand. We are going to cover the exact payment rates, the first payment dates for May 2026, how this payment appears in your bank account, who qualifies and who does not, the rules around overseas travel, the rules for couples, the opt-out trap that catches people every year, and I am going to debunk several false claims that have been spreading online. Stay with me because some of what I cover later in this video could prevent you from accidentally creating a debt with MSD. Let us start with the basics because it is important that everyone watching understands exactly what the winter energy payment is and what it is not. The winter energy payment, which you will also see referred to simply as WEP, is an extra payment administered by the Ministry of Social Development through Work and Income New Zealand. It is designed to help with the cost of heating your home during the colder months. It has been part of New Zealand's social support system since 2018, and it operates under the Social Security Act 2018. Every year, from the 1st of May through to the 1st of October, eligible recipients receive this additional amount added on top of their regular MSD payment. Now here's the first thing I want you to understand clearly. The winter energy payment is not a discount on your power bill. It is not a credit applied to your electricity account. It is not linked to your energy retailer in any way. It is a cash payment. It goes directly into your regular bank account alongside your normal benefit or pension deposit. You decide how you spend it, but the key point is, it shows up in your bank account. It is part of your regular MSD deposit, and it does not arrive separately as a special lump sum. That brings me to one of the most common misconceptions I want to address right now, and I will come back to debunking several more of these later. Some social media posts and third-party websites have been describing the winter energy payment as a lump sum bonus paid in May. That is not accurate. It is not a lump sum. It cannot be paid as a lump sum. Work and Income's official policy is very clear on this. The winter energy payment is added to each of your regular weekly or fortnightly payments across the full 22-week winter season. So instead of receiving one large payment in May, you receive a small additional top-up with every regular payment from May through to October. Over the full season, that does add up to a meaningful amount, and I will give you those totals in just a moment. Now let us talk about the exact figures for 2026, because this is what most of you are here for. The confirmed winter energy payment rates for 2026, as published on the official Work and Income website at workandincome.gov.nz, are as follows. If you are a single person with no dependent children, you receive $20.46 per week. If you are a couple, whether you live together or separately, or if you are a person with dependent children, you receive $31.82 per week. Now, those weekly amounts might seem modest on their own, but here is what they add up to across the full winter season. The 2026 winter energy payment season runs for 22 weeks from the 1st of May to the 1st of October. Over that period, a single person receives a total of approximately $449. A couple or a person with dependent children receives approximately $698 across the season. That is meaningful money. Nearly $700 in total for qualifying couples added directly to your bank deposits over winter. I also want to be very clear about something that has caused confusion online. The winter energy payment rate has not been increased for 2026. The rates I just quoted, $20.46 for singles and $31.82 for couples, are the same as the prior period. There were websites and social media posts earlier this year speculating about projected rate increases based on inflation trends. Those claims were not based on confirmed government announcements. The official Work and Income website confirms the 2026 rates are unchanged. I will cover this in more detail in the debunking section later in this video. Now, what did change from the 1st of April to 2026 was the annual general adjustment. And it is critically important that viewers understand the difference between the annual general adjustment and the winter energy payment, because the two are being conflated in a lot of online content right now. The annual general adjustment, known as the AGA, is the yearly increase that Work and Income applies to main benefit rates and pension rates on the 1st of April each year. This is the increase to NZ Super, Jobseeker Support, Sole Parent Support, Supported Living Payment, and other main benefits. This year, Minister Louise Upston confirmed that around 1.5 million New Zealanders received payment increases through the AGA, with adjustments ranging from just over 2% to around 3%. For main benefits like Jobseeker and Sole Parent Support, the adjustment was based on a 3.11% Consumer Price Index increase. For NZ's Super and the Veterans Pension, the adjustment is based on net average wage growth rather than CPI. So if you noticed your NZ Super or benefit amount go up in April, that was the annual general adjustment to your main payment. That is separate from the winter energy payment, which started on the 1st of May and is a fixed seasonal supplement on top of your main payment. The winter energy payment sits on top of whatever your main payment is. It does not change your main payment rate. It does not affect your accommodation supplement. It does not affect your income-related rent if you are in social housing. It simply adds to your regular deposit during winter. Stay with me because in a moment I am going to explain the first payment dates for May 2026. And this is important because your first deposit this month may look smaller than you expected, and I want you to understand exactly why. Let us talk about when the money actually arrives in your account. The winter energy payment officially starts on the 1st of May every year. However, Work and Income pays for the week that has just passed, meaning payments are made in arrears. Because the 1st of May 2026 falls on a Friday, the timing of your first WEP deposit depends on how you receive your main payment. If you are a weekly payment recipient, your first winter energy payment will be a part payment included in your deposit in the week of the 4th of May. You will not receive the full weekly WEP amount in that first payment because the 1st of May falls partway through the payment cycle. From the week of the 11th of May onwards, you will receive the full weekly amount of either $20.46 or $31.82, depending on your category. If you receive NZ Super or the Veterans Pension, which are paid fortnightly on a Tuesday, your first winter energy payment will be a part payment included in your deposit on the 5th of May. Your first full WEP amount will be included in your payment on the 19th of May. This is important to know because some recipients may look at their May deposits and think something is wrong when they see less than the expected WEP amount in their first payment. Nothing is wrong. It is simply how the payment cycle works when the 1st of May falls on a Friday. The full amounts follow in the next payment. Now let us talk about who qualifies for the winter energy payment, because eligibility is one of the areas where people sometimes get confused. The winter energy payment is available to you automatically if you are currently receiving any of the following payments from Work and Income: NZ Superannuation, Veterans Pension, Jobseeker Support, Jobseeker Support Student Hardship, Sole Parent Support, Supported Living Payment, Young Parent Payment, Youth Payment, Emergency Benefit, or Emergency Maintenance Allowance. If you are on any of those payments, you do not need to apply for the winter energy payment. You do not need to register. You do not need to contact Work and Income. It is added to your account automatically from the 1st of May. This is an important point, and I will come back to it when I debunk the claim that you need to apply. However, there are situations where you will not receive the winter energy payment, even if you are on one of those qualifying payments. I want to walk through these carefully because this is where the eligibility traps are. First, if you are receiving the residential care subsidy or residential support subsidy, you do not qualify for the winter energy payment. If you or a family member has recently moved into residential care and you are now receiving one of those subsidies, your WEP entitlement stops. This is something you need to report to Work and Income, because if they are not aware of the change and they continue paying WEP into your account, that becomes an overpayment debt that you will be required to repay. Second, if you are living permanently overseas, you cannot receive the winter energy payment. Even if your NZ Super continues to be paid to you overseas, the WEP does not follow you offshore. It is specifically for New Zealand residents during winter in New Zealand. Third, if you receive an overseas pension that is offset against your NZ Super and that offset results in you receiving $0 in NZ Super from Work and Income, you will not receive the winter energy payment either because you are not actually receiving an NZ Super payment from MSD. In just a moment, I am going to explain the overseas travel rules in detail because there is an important distinction between living overseas permanently and traveling overseas temporarily, and getting this wrong is one of the biggest causes of accidental WEP overpayments. Let us talk about the overseas travel rules because this is genuinely one of the most misunderstood areas of the winter energy payment, and it catches people out every year. If you are an NZ Super or Veterans Pension recipient and you plan to travel overseas during the winter months, which run from the 1st of May to the 1st of October, Work and Income can continue paying your winter energy payment for up to 28 days of absence. That is the rule. 28 days total across the winter period. If you are away from New Zealand for more than 28 days during the payment season, the winter energy payment stops for the days beyond that 28-day limit. Here's the part that people get wrong. You are legally required to notify Work and Income before you leave New Zealand. You can do this by filling out the Overseas Travel Dates form on the Work and Income Online Services portal, or by calling the seniors line on 08 0055 2002. If you leave without notifying WINS and you are away for more than 28 days, Work and Income will continue paying your WEP into your account because their system does not know you have left the country. When you return and declare your travel, or when they become aware of it, the overpayment will be recovered. You will be asked to repay the WEP amounts that were paid for days beyond the 28-day threshold. And here is another detail that many people miss. If you travel overseas during the winter period and then return to New Zealand before the 1st of October, your winter energy payment does not restart automatically. You need to contact Work and Income to let them know you are back in New Zealand so they can recommence your payments. If you do not contact them, you will miss out on the WEP for the rest of the season. Call the seniors line on 08 0055 2002 as soon as you return. The same general rules apply if you are on a main benefit rather than NZ Super, though the rules around continued benefit payments while overseas are more complex. If you are on a benefit and planning to travel, contact Work and Income on 08 005 59009 before you go to understand how your specific situation is affected. Now, let us talk about couples because the couples payment rules include a detail that causes confusion and can even result in overpayments if your relationship status is not correctly recorded with MSD. If you and your partner are both receiving NZ Super or the Veterans Pension, the couple rate of $31.82 per week is paid as a single amount to one account. It does not matter whether you live together or whether you are living separately. The couple rate is $31.82, and it goes to one bank account only. By default, Work and Income system pays it into the account of the person in the couple who has the lower client number. You can find your client number on your Community Services card, your Super Gold card, or on letters from Work and Income. If you would like the payment directed to the other partner's account, you can request that by calling Work and Income. Now here is the trap. If you and your partner are a couple in the eyes of MSD, but your relationship status has not been correctly updated in their system, for example, if MSD has you recorded as two single individuals rather than as a couple, you may each be receiving the single rate of $20.46. Combined, that would be $40.92 between you, which is more than the couple rate of $31.82. That means you are being overpaid by approximately $9 per week. Over the full 22-week season, that adds up to around $200 in overpayments that MSD has the right to recover. Make sure your relationship status is correctly recorded with work and income. You can check and update this through My MSD at my.msd.gov.nz or by calling Work and Income directly. Keep watching, because I am about to cover the opt-out rule. And this is one that genuinely surprises people every year. The winter energy payment is automatic. If you qualify, it starts on the 1st of May, and you do not need to do anything to receive it. But you do have the option to opt out if you choose not to receive it. Some people opt out because they have other income sources and do not feel they need the additional payment. Here is the critical detail about opting out. If you opted out of the winter energy payment in a previous year, work and income will not automatically restart it for you. The opt-out carries forward indefinitely. Every year that you have opted out, the WEP will not be paid to you unless you actively request to have it reinstated. If you opted out in 2024 or 2025 and you have not requested a restart, you are not receiving the winter energy payment right now, even though you qualify for it. If you believe you may have previously opted out and you want to start receiving the payment again, you can either fill out the restart form on the Work and Income website. It is the same form used to opt out, called Stop or Restart Winter Energy Payment. Or you can call Work and Income directly. Do not assume it has been restarted automatically. You need to make that contact. Now let us spend some time on the tax treatment of the winter energy payment, because this is another area where incorrect information is circulating. The winter energy payment is a non-taxable payment. Full stop. It does not appear on your IR3 tax return. It does not count as income for inland revenue purposes. It does not affect working for families calculations. You do not declare it to IRD. You do not include it in any income disclosure. However, and this is important, while the WEP itself is not taxable, it is possible for other elements of your financial situation to affect the net amount of NZ Super you receive. If you have other sources of income alongside your NZ Super, for example from part-time work, a rental property, KiwiSaver drawdowns, or an overseas pension, your tax code needs to be set correctly to avoid an unexpected tax bill at the end of the year. An incorrect tax code does not affect the WEP, but it can reduce your net NZ Super deposit. If you are unsure about your tax code, log into myIR at ird.gov.nz and review your code. If you have multiple income sources, you may need a secondary tax code on some of them. This is worth checking now rather than being caught out at tax time. I am now going to spend a few minutes going through the misinformation that has been circulating online about the winter energy payment this year, because some of it is genuinely misleading and could cause you to make incorrect decisions about your finances or your contact with WINS. Let us go through these one by one. Claim number 1. Several websites and social media posts claim that the winter energy payment rate has been increased for 2026. Some even stated specific new rates or projected increases based on CPI trends. This is false. The 2026 winter energy payment rates are unchanged. Single recipients continue to receive $20.46 per week, and couples or those with dependents continue to receive $31.82 per week. These figures are confirmed on the official Work and Income website. The confusion appears to have come from websites that publish speculative rate projections before the April 2026 confirmation, and some of those projections were never corrected after the actual rates were confirmed. Do not trust third-party websites for payment rate information. Always verify at workandincome.gov.nz. Claim number 2. The winter energy payment is paid as a lump sum in May. This is false. The winter energy payment cannot be paid as a lump sum. It is added incrementally to your regular weekly or fortnightly MSD payment across the full 22-week season. If someone tells you to expect a large one-off payment hitting your account in May, that is not how this works. Budget accordingly while it is a small regular top-up, not a large one-off deposit. Claim number 3. You need to apply or register to receive the winter energy payment in 2026. This is false. If you are already receiving a qualifying payment from Work and Income, NZ Super, Jobseeker, Sole Parent, Supported Living, Veterans Pension, or others, the winter energy payment is added automatically from the 1st of May. No application required, no registration required, no phone call required. The only exception is if you previously opted out, in which case you do need to contact WINS to have it restarted. Claim number 4. The April 2026 pay increase was an increase to the winter energy payment. This is false and misleading. The April 2026 Annual General Adjustment increased NZ Super, Veterans Pension, and main benefit rates. That is the increase to your base payment. The winter energy payment is a separate fixed-rate seasonal supplement that sits on top of your main payment. The AGA and the WEP are two different things. The WEP rate was not part of the April adjustment. Claim number 5. The winter energy payment is taxable income. This is false. The WEP is a non-taxable payment. You do not declare it to inland revenue. It does not appear on your tax return. It does not affect any income-based calculations with IRD or other agencies. Claim number 6. You can keep receiving the winter energy payment while living overseas. This is false, with a narrow exception for short-term travel only. Permanent overseas residents cannot receive the WEP. The narrow exception is that short-term travelers, and those away for 28 days or fewer during the winter season, may continue to receive it, provided they notify WINS before departure. Anyone away for more than 28 days stops receiving WEP from day 29, and any payments received beyond that threshold must be repaid. Now let us bring this all together and talk about what you should actually do right now based on everything we have covered. The first thing I want you to do is check your bank account. If you are an NZ Super recipient, your first winter energy payment part deposit arrived on or around the 5th of May. Your first full WEP amount arrived in your fortnightly payment on the 19th of May. If you are on a weekly payment, the first part payment arrived in the week of the 4th of May, with full amounts from the week of the 11th of May. Check that you are seeing these amounts added to your regular deposits. If you are not seeing any WEP top-up and you believe you should be qualifying, contact Work and Income. The second thing I want you to do is think about whether you have ever opted out of the winter energy payment. If you opted out in a previous year and have not requested a restart, you are not receiving it now. Use the form on the Work and Income website or call 08 00552 002 for seniors or 08 00559 009 for other benefits to have it reinstated. You can potentially recover payments from the start of the season if you act promptly. The third thing is to make sure your relationship status is correctly recorded with MSD. If you are a couple, both you and your partner should be recorded as a couple in the MSD system. If either of you suspects this is not correct, log in to My MSD or call Work and Income to confirm. The fourth thing, if you are planning any overseas travel this winter, contact Work and Income before you leave. Tell them your departure and expected return dates. This protects you from accidental overpayments that you would otherwise need to repay. You can submit your travel dates online through My MSD or call the seniors line. The fifth thing, do not declare the winter energy payment as income to inland revenue. It is non-taxable. It does not belong on your IR3 or in any income declaration. And the sixth thing, if you see articles, social media posts, or videos claiming that the WEP rate has been increased, that a lump sum payment is coming, that you need to apply, or that some new special bonus is being paid out, verify those claims at work and income.gov.nz before you act on them or share them. The official Work and Income website is the only source you should rely on for confirmed payment rates and policy details. If you found this update helpful, make sure you subscribe to New Zealand Pension Plan. I'm David, and my goal is to help you stay informed about NZ Super, WINS, MSD, and every important government support update that could affect your finances. Thank you for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next update.